Hola y buenos días. Yo soy el señor Morris. ¿Cómo están ustedes? Hoy estoy aquí frente... Pues, ¿qué es este? Es un edificio pequeño de apartamentos. Sí. I hope you guys are starting to recognize those pretty easily now. Today, we're going to review some of the things that we've been talking about in this unit. We're going to look at the calendar. We're going to try to do some TPR if we have time. And then we're going to read a book of our own. Pero primero, vamos a cantar nuestra canción de saludos. Canten conmigo. Hola, hola, buenos días, bienvenidos, ¿cómo están? Todos juntos ya estamos listos para aprender. Muy bien cantado. Well, I tell you what, let's begin by looking at the calendar. And remember, I always ask you, ¿cuál es la fecha de hoy? Repitan todos, ¿cuál es la fecha de hoy? We have a calendar here, so let's see if we can answer this. For example, if today were a Thursday, okay, Thursday, and it were the 29th of this month, how would you answer this question? Okay, we'd say, hoy es, what is this number? 29 de marzo. That's right. Well, what if I ask you, ¿qué día es hoy? ¿Qué día es hoy? Aquí están los días. ¿Qué día es? Well, look down here. You can look right up here to the top, and you'd answer by saying, hoy es jueves. Hoy es jueves. Now here's another question that's very useful. ¿En qué mes estamos? ¿En qué mes estamos? And this word mes isn't like a mess in your room. ¿En qué mes estamos? Again, we can look at our calendar up here at the top, and we'll answer, estamos en marzo. Estamos en marzo. Now, you can go ahead and figure the date out for whatever date it is that you're watching this lesson. And try to do this every day. It's something that changes every day. It's really good for you. Muy bien. Another thing that's really good and a lot of fun to learn Spanish is our TPR. Now, we've come quite a ways in this. I'd like you to go ahead and get ready. Teachers, get your classes ready. We're going to go ahead and go over TPR again. Ahora, presten atención y participen todos. Now, we're going to see if we can do some more of this TPR here. Let's go ahead and start by reviewing the things that we've been doing up to now. You guys ready? Párense. Okay. Caminen. Ay, espérense. Voltéense. Caminen. Y siéntense en las sillas. Okay. Párense. Okay. Brinquen. Basta. Okay. Voltéense. Voltéense. Siéntense en el piso. Okay. Canten. Oh, that's so beautiful. Ya basta. Párense. Okay. Siéntense en las sillas. Okay. Toquen las sillas. Toquen el piso. Okay. Do you remember this one? Ríense. How about this one? Lloren. Okay. Párense. Brinquen a la mesa y siéntense en la mesa. Now remember, you guys, if your teacher doesn't want you sitting on your tables in your classroom, probably shouldn't do that. I hope you're participating along with us because we're going to do more and more of this stuff. All right, muy bien. I always enjoy that. You remember last time we began talking about how people who speak the same language may sometimes use different words to mean the same thing. You know what? Within the United States, people do this. That thing that you use to maybe fry your eggs in, some people call it a frying pan. Some people call it a skillet. And still others refer to it as a spider. Yeah, and it has little legs coming out the bottom. Yeah, the same thing happens in Spanish. A kite in Mexico may be called una cometa. In Spain, it's called un papalote. While in the Caribbean, a kite is called una xiringa or una pandorga. So there's 4 different ways to say the same thing. Well, I tell you what, how many syllables are there in the word papalote? See if you can figure it out. Papalote. How many? 4. Hay 4 sílabas. And which one is stressed? The 3rd syllable. How about this word? Cometa. Cometa. This is what they say in Mexico. Una cometa. How many syllables? Did you get it? Hay 3. And which one is stressed? Did you get it? The second one. Cometa. Let's try one more. How about this one? Pandorga. Pandorga. How many syllables? Pandorga. Did you get it? Hay 3. Hay 3. And which one is stressed? Pandorga. La segunda. The second one. Now, a pig may be marrano, or it may be called puerco, or cerdo, or cochino. There's a lot of words for a pig. Well, how many syllables are there in the word marrano? Everybody say it? Marrano. And if you look right down here, see it's got the double R thing? That's where you go R. Marrano. ¿Cuántas sílabas hay? Marrano. Hay 3. ¿Y cuál lleva el acento? Which one is accent? Marrano. The second one. Marrano. How about this word? Cerdo. Cerdo. How many syllables? Cerdo. Cerdo. Hay 2. Hay 2. ¿Y cuál lleva el acento? Cerdo. La primera. The first one. Cerdo. Now, as I mentioned last time, un autobús in Puerto Rico and other Caribbean countries is called un guagua. Guagua. Today, we're going to read a story about Guagua el autobús. Now, this is a story about a bus that gets lost. Have you ever gotten lost? Do you know what you are supposed to do if you do get lost or separated from your parents or the people who you're supposed to be with? Do you know? If you're out in the wilderness, like hiking in the woods or anything like that, and you get lost, you should stay right where you are and wait somewhere safe rather than walking around and getting more lost. Now, if you get lost in a public place like a store or the mall or a city, look for a policeman to help you. Okay? You shouldn't talk to strangers to try to help you, and never get into the car of someone that you don't know. Okay? Well, with that said, let's go ahead and look at the story now of Guagua el autobús. Here it is. Guagua el autobús. Go ahead and read it here with me if you'd like. Un día, Guagua el autobús lloraba en la calle. Look at lloraba en la calle. Remember we talked about that in our TPR. Lloraba en la calle. Ay, el pobrecito, the poor thing. El camión de bomberos le vino a ayudar. Who's that there? Es el camión de bomberos. The fire truck came to help him out. So he's going to ask him some questions. ¿Dónde vives? Preguntó el camión de bomberos. Where do you live? ¿Dónde vives? ¿En la ciudad? ¿En el pueblo? ¿O en el campo? Vivo en un pueblo, dijo Wawa. Vive en un pueblo. Wawa vive en un pueblo. ¿Vives en una casa grande, una casa pequeña o en un apartamento? Preguntó el camión de bomberos. So he's trying to find out where he lives so that he can help him. And he found out he lives in the pueblo, and then he asks him, ¿vives en una casa grande, una casa pequeña o en un apartamento? Well, no vivo en ninguno de estos, respondió Wawa. So does he live en una casa grande? ¿Vive en una casa grande? No. ¿Vive en unos apartamentos? No. ¿Vive en una casa pequeña? No. No vive en ninguno de estos. Well, el camión de bomberos still wants to help him, so he's probably going to ask him another question. ¿Con quién vives? Preguntó el camión de bomberos. And this was one of the questions that we talked about in this unit. ¿Con quién vives? With whom do you live? Preguntó el camión de bomberos. Vivo con mi mamá, mis hermanos y con todos los niños y niñas que llevo cada día, dijo Wawa. So he says, vivo con mi mamá, mis hermanos y con todos los niños y niñas. So you can see all the niños y niñas. There's his mamá and there's his hermanos. Do you guys think you might know where he lives? Let's see if the camión de bomberos can figure it out. Ya sé dónde vives. Oh, and the light bulb has come on. Declaró el camión de bomberos. Now he's going to give him some instructions. Sigue hacia el norte 2 cuadras. Dobla hacia el este y sigue 3 cuadras. Tu hogar está a la derecha. So he says, I know where you live now. And he's going to give him some directions. So Wawa is thinking of all of these places he's telling him to go. Wawa siguió las instrucciones que le dio el camión de bomberos. So he followed all of the instructions that the camión de bomberos gave to him. Y llegó a... Where do you think he went to? La escuela. Wawa, el autobús, vive en la escuela. And then at the end of the story we always say, colorín colorado, este cuento se ha acabado. That's right. So that's what they say at the end of every story. It's kind of like when we say, and they all lived happily ever after. We say that at the end. Well, in Spanish they say, colorín colorado, este cuento se ha acabado. Okay. And that's the story for today. Now, hopefully, you recognized all of the things that we were using in that story today, because I took all of the vocabulary and as many of the ideas that we've covered this year and tried to integrate them into that book. Okay? Now, teachers, these activity sheets for Wawa, the autobús, can be found in the resource notebook or in the student resource in the LPGs or the student resource notebook. And the students can cut these out, color them, and staple them together to make their own copies of the book. Okay? They can read it out loud or in pairs, in groups. They can even take them home to read to their parents. Okay? Here you see, it's on this one. And what you'll do is you'll just take it out. Yeah, there's the story, only I haven't cut this one out. This is like it looks in your book. And what you'll need to do is cut it out along there, and then you can color it, staple it here so that you can fold it along the dotted lines. Okay? And if you have any question about any of the vocabulary, you can go ahead and look in the teacher's guide, because that'll have all of the translations done. As I said, you should recognize all of these things, and you can take this book home to read for your brothers and sisters or for your parents. Maybe you can even read these in class just to help you review, or you can put up a display and show the other students in your school what you're learning. Okay? So that's a real good way to review the things that we've been doing. Okay. Muy bien. Now, next time, we'll be using the Loteria cards to review words and concepts that we've been talking about in this unit. Now, before we go, I want to ask you some directions now. Okay? If we're looking at the compass, los puntos cardinales, which one generally goes up? Norte. And which one generally goes down? Sur. Which one generally goes to this side? Este. And which one goes to this side? Oeste. Where does the sun come up in the morning? En el este. Okay. Where does the sun set every evening? En el oeste. Okay? Keep going over those things. Try to review the ideas that we've talked about different places that people live, the directions, derecha, izquierda. Okay? Try to go over all of those so those will be real familiar to you. Now, remember to keep practicing your Spanish phrases too. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Dónde vives? ¿Cuántos años tienes? Try to go over those as much as possible. Try to look at your calendar every day. Saben que ya es hora de despedirnos. For our goodbye song today, I'd like to sing Cielito Lindo. And that's the one where we go, ay, 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 ay. Ahora, canten conmigo. De la Sierra Morena, cielito lindo, vienen bajando un par de ojitos negros, cielito lindo de contrabando. Ay, 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 canta y no llores, porque cantando se alegran, cielito lindo, los corazones. Muy bien. Until we see each other next time, adiós y hasta luego.